everyone. This is part 2 of lesson 2 of our welcome module. Wit and Wisdom students write every day. We know from researchers and experts that writing helps us as readers and reading helps us as writers. In Wit and Wisdom, you will write about what you read and you will read to get ideas for your writing. Today, we're going to see how writing instruction will look in our virtual lesson experiences. Just as Wit and Wisdom has content stages that take us through reading a text, we have craft stages that help us learn about how to write about text. You have probably heard the word craft when someone was talking about arts and crafts. The word craft means skill in making or doing something. In Wit and Wisdom, we use content when we're talking about learning from reading, and we use craft when we talk about writing and speaking. Craft is a skill. It's something that you can get better at over time with practice. The first craft stage is examine. During the examine stage, we look closely and we inspect. We identify what skill we're going to be learning. We look at an exemplar or a strong example of that skill in action to understand what makes the writing effective. Think about a new skill that you learned. How did you learn it? I learned to make lasagna by watching my great Aunt Sophie make it. This is the same with the examine stage. We learn more about writing by looking at an expert's writing example. In the examine stage, in Wit and Wisdom, students look at a specific skill or an element of writing. Over the next few lessons, we are going to focus on combining sentences. Just like in the content stages for reading, questions frame the work for the craft stages in writing. Today's craft question is, why is combining sentences important? We will learn why combining ideas from short, choppy sentences into more complex sentences can be particularly powerful and a great writing technique. Let's take a look at what I mean. On the screen, you'll see a paragraph describing the photograph with several sentences highlighted. Let me read the paragraph aloud. The artist depicts President Lincoln visiting Antietam battlefield. A general and the chief of the Secret Service are standing next to President Lincoln. They are standing in front of a tent. Let's imagine after reading that part of the paragraph aloud, I decided to combine those two sentences. Listen how it sounds now. The artist depicts President Lincoln, a general and the chief of the Secret Service, standing in front of a tent at the Antietam battlefield. Take a minute and think about the difference between example 1 and example 2. What difference did it make that I combined the sentences? Pause the video as you think about that question. I'm sure you noticed that combining the two sentences had some effects. My writing flowed better. The paragraph was less choppy. It made connections between the ideas in the two sentences clearer to my reader. And it made the writing more concise, fewer words. We have completed the first craft stage, examining a skill of combining sentences. Let's think. So why does a writer combine sentences? Pause the video now to answer our craft question. Why is combining sentences important? In our next lesson, we will continue to think about why combining sentences is a powerful writing tool. As we do that, we will use Wit and Wisdom's craft stages to help us learn and sharpen that skill. We will work through the 4 craft stages. The next stage is experiment. During the experiment stage, we will learn how combining sentences works, and you're going to get some practice with that. Then we will move into the execute stage. That's where we will try to put what we learn into our own writing. We will end in the Excel stage. That's where you'll take a look at what you wrote and think about how you can improve the way you combine sentences. Those of you who are familiar with Wit and Wisdom will recognize those 4 craft stages. For those of you who are new to Wit and Wisdom, don't worry. During this module, you will learn the craft stages so that you'll be ready for Module 4. This concludes our second lesson. In our next lesson, we will look more closely at a photograph, the same one that we examined today. We will also learn some techniques for combining sentences, and you'll practice doing some of that sentence combining. Don't forget that we are going to be starting Module 4 soon, once our welcome module ends. And we will be reading the text aloud. But to get the most out of the lessons, it would be great if you could borrow, download, or purchase the text. You can borrow the books that we'll be using by visiting the following websites: Audible, Overdrive, Libby, Canopy Kids, or set up a free trial at Tumble. When you sign off today, talk to a family member or other adult to see how you can get access to the books for Module 4. But don't worry, even if you don't have the text, we will still be able to learn together. If you need to, pause the video and write down the title of the text that we will need for Module 4. We Are the Ship, The Story of Negro League Baseball by Kadir Nelson. If you have any questions, contact us at info@greatminds.org. You can copy that email by pausing your screen now. Thank you for learning with me today. Take care, and I'll see you next time.